together are entirely their own. But there's one thing no relationship can thrive on. It's a little bit of spice. My name is Mamiko Toakwanyame, and I'll be your host for this segment where we will talk about how to spice up a relationship and how that can bring back the spark. I'm joined here by three amazing personalities. I have one, a counselor, and I also have a couple. And I think today is a beautiful day to have couples join us on this show. So I'll start from my far left. There's Dr. Peace Mamle Tete. She's a lecturer. Doc, thank you very much for joining us on this show. And then I also have Reverend Derek Kumsin. Reverend, thank you so much for coming. And then the last lady is Pastor Mrs. Mabel Kumsin. Thank you very much for joining us. And I can see we seem to have got some sort of a memo. Right. It's white, the new color for Valentine.
Maybe. Well, you can ask her. She can answer.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem.
Part of it.
Exactly, no problem. So that's fine. So as I mentioned, we'll be talking about how spicing up a relationship can spark it can spark a relationship. So first of all, I would want to go to Dr. Mamle. Can you tell us some of the new experiences that can be introduced to spice up a romantic relationship?
Okay, so thank you very much for the question. Before I go talk about the specific spices, that is if there are even any. I just want to make a brief statement. You know, before I got married, I used to wonder, and I still do. I used to wonder about how people who are so much in love with each other wake up suddenly and cannot stand each other. And I wonder what happened. So basically, to fall in love is relatively easy. To remain in love is the issue, and that is why perhaps we are having this conversation. And I'm still laying the foundation. The academic in me likes to give a preamble. But in talking about spices, two words always stay with me, and I talk to young people I get the opportunity to speak to, is that you need to be very intentional, and you need to be consistent. If you do it today, you don't do it tomorrow, it doesn't work. And you need to be deliberate and intentional about it. And one of the things that, for me, is very critical is the ingredient, the spice called gratitude, which we tend to take for granted.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I see a lot of an increasing tendency for people to have a sense of entitlement. You are my wife or girlfriend, and you are supposed to do this for me. You are my husband, and you are supposed to do this for me. Yes, they may be supposed to do things for you, but there are husbands and wives who are also not doing it. And so if you get yours to do it, then you must intentionally and consistently show gratitude and say thank you for even the minutest of things. And sometimes we tend to blame adults who don't show certain behaviors. But that is where, as a sociologist, I always say start from the beginning, teaching young children to intentionally say thank you.
That's right.
So my son cannot take a meal and not say, Mommy, thank you. And I just say, don't just say thank you. Thank you for what? Thank you for the meal. Thank you for the portions you gave me. You know, in the early conversations, the point about communication was made. And we keep talking about, oh, communication. The question is, have we taught people to communicate? People know they have to communicate, but don't know how to do it. And that is where we need to socialize people to communicate, to actually express how they feel. So thank you for the money. Thank you for the time you spent with me. Thank you for driving me to the program. Thank you for just listening to me vent and complain. Gratitude is very key. And once you are grateful, even God wants us to come and say we are grateful. And it's an innate desire that we all have, male or female. All of us want to be appreciated. So letting people know that you are grateful gives them the desire to want to do more, to want to please you, and that's what carries the relationship. So that's one of the key ingredients I would say we should all intentionally and consistently do.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mamli. Now, I am just a bit concerned because usually when we talk about new experiences in a relationship or a romantic relationship, everyone just automatically thinks it's about enhancing your sexual life. But I just want to find out, just to clarify, talking these new experiences we are talking about, is it only applicable to couple sexual lives? I would come to you, Reverend Kumsen.
Right. Sexual life might be a part, but it is not. In fact, it is a very little fraction of that, because sometimes people can even give in to you for sex, and yet they are hating you in their heart.
Yeah.
Right. You know, they can just engage in sex just for duty or just for something. So it's not just about that. You know, so there are many factors that we need to consider if you want to spice up our relationship. To add to what Sister Peace said, intentionality is key, but I also add that you must be genuine, right? Because people can pretend a lot. You can go to social media and read 1, 2, 3 things, what to do to make a lady happy, and then you'll be acting that just to get what you want, you know. But those things will not last. You know, you can't pretend forever. So if you are genuine, then you are sure you are laying a good foundation. You know, your behavior is key. You know, is your partner trusting you? You know, if you take the person out, you provide all that she needs, and the person doesn't trust you, you will do things you think you are, you know, rekindling the relationship, but she might have some thoughts in her mind. You know, so it comes to, you know, to add up that what you are doing is genuine. Then the issue of sex becomes a kind of an icing on the cake. All right, you know, so that is what I would say concerning the sex. You see, because, you know, the sex drive is very strong, and we even define love in the only romantic love, but love goes beyond that. So that is what usually people want to consider if they want to talk about spicing up and all that. But even that one, it can become boring. We are talking about spicing up because you want to kill boredom. So if you decide that you want to use holy sex, if you are not, there's a person I wanted to add, spicing up. The fundamental thing is to be innovative and creative. You know, we do that in our corporate world and all that, but in the relationship too, it's very important for us to be innovative at all times and be creative. So even in your sex life, if generally you are not creative, you are not innovative, everything is routine, it doesn't matter what you do in the sex room, it will not help, though it can be part of it, right?
Okay, I'll come to you, Mrs. Kumsen. I'd like to find out how you would embrace some new experiences in a romantic relationship, because one's partner may be willing to try new things, but I think the one on the receiving end also matters. How is one supposed to position themselves to receive or embrace new experiences when it comes to romantic relationships?
Okay, thank you. Yes, so I would say that marriage is so beautiful. And as we know, God created marriage and He wants us to enjoy it, not to endure it. But to move it further, for us to enjoy it, there are some things we need to do. And not just, it doesn't come overnight. The person has to be ready to go through or to deliver. Yes. So that, for instance, if you are talking about home management, yes, it comes to the woman. Are we ready to go all the way? Yes, it does not matter what it takes. Are we ready to go the extra mile in getting the home habitable for everyone to live in. Yes, so it comes with a sacrifice, and we need to be ready. I think you asked me personally. Yes, I would say yes. I would always want to go the extra mile. I want to learn new things just for my king, you know. Yes, and our children in the home. Yes. And so we always have to be on that path of sacrificing a lot. I sacrifice a lot to make sure my home is as the Lord made it or intended it to be. Yes. So if I should mention some of the things, I can go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, to mention. So as I mentioned, taking care of the home. Yes, making sure I cook good meals for my husband.
Okay.
Yes, trying new recipes.
So me too, I should receive it.
Yes. Yes, having new recipes. It's not always the same way. The same way. When you go, you come the same thing. No, but I try new things so that that innovative aspect will come. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I believe that spicing up a relationship should affect all aspects of
All
that
aspects,
relationship.
yeah.
And communication is known to be one key issue in a lot of relationships. Now, in our quest to trying to bring up new experiences in some relationships, how exactly will these new experiences enhance the communication of a couple? I think I'll come to you, Reverend Kunsten.
Yeah, okay. You asked that, in fact, when you are giving something, it must be received, like you said. You know, that is where the love language thing comes in. You know, we must be observant in our relationships. You know, when we talk about communication, it's not just verbalizing your intention, actions, and all that. And communication too had to do with how the other person at the other side also receives what you are sending out. All right. So you ask that, and communicating, how do we receive that? Right. It's important that you understand that if I'm dealing with, I'm a man, so with her, I know little things excite her, but we are human beings. Sometimes we change.
Yeah.
One time she did something, I said, wow, this little thing excited her. You know what happened? It's just simple. I wanted to go out to go and buy some house cocoa. I just felt like taking house cocoa.
Okay.
And then she has been at home. And I said, would you like to go with me? Then she said, yeah, I've been at home, so let's go. It was a weekend. But it started drizzling, but she still wanted to join me. So we got into the car and we were driving. When we got on the road and we were going, it started raining heavily. And I said, oh, okay, we won't rush back home, so let's go. And she said, yeah, this is nice. I like the way the rain is falling on the car. And then there were no vehicle. We were the only vehicle on the road.
Okay.
And then I was driving slowly, and she was so excited. I was surprised.
Sounds like a movie scene to me.
You know. So for me, though that wasn't my intention to do something to make us happy, but that was it. So I took it in. You know, that such a thing, you know, she appreciates that. And many other things. If you are not aware of what excites your other person, you will be working so hard, but you will not be scoring marks.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, so it's very, very important. You know, it doesn't have to be something too big or something too small, but the quality of it. And the quality is determined by how the other person receives it.
Yeah.
Right, you know. So that is what I'll say.
Okay, I'll come to you, Dr. Mamli. I was very glad when you mentioned the point on gratitude. Now, how would couples be able to effectively communicate their desires for novel experiences without making the other person uncomfortable. So for instance, you have a partner that you wish would show gratitude for the things you do, but you are not so sure of how to speak to that partner. How can you still leverage on communication to do that?
Well, communication is both verbal and non-verbal. So if you don't have the words to say it, you can show it.
Yeah.
After all, love is a verb. For God so loved, he gave. Love is action. So if you don't have the words to say, sometimes people are shy. Face to face, they can't tell you what they feel.
Yeah.
I have often written letters to my husband, especially when I want to get his attention. I send him emails.
Oh.
I send him notes. When he's traveling, I put a long thesis in his suitcase. And then he'll call and say, oh, okay, that's how I get his attention. So you can write. You can leave short notes on the dash in the driver's seat. You can find basic ways of maybe reciprocating what they've done for you to show that you are grateful. So it's not just always words. It's also action. You could also write. You could just show that you are grateful. You can give somebody a hug, and that in itself shows that I'm grateful. You know, you can smile at somebody to show that I'm grateful. So there are many ways, and that's where the innovativeness comes in. Many ways of showing that you are grateful. Acts of service shows that you are grateful. So Auntie Mabel talked about taking care of your home, preparing a good meal.
Yeah.
You are grateful for that. So you could also reciprocate by one day just coming home with a meal. I bought us dinner.
That's right.
Or I'm taking us out to dinner, and everybody's excited, especially for us women. Sometimes we get tired. I just wish that somebody will save you from cooking that day. And if your husband appears and says, kitchen closed today, we are not cooking, let's go out for dinner. It's so sweet, you know, it's so nice. You know, so some of these little things, like the songwriter said, nothing big. You know, somebody is sleeping, you want their attention, they are tired. And I did some yesterday. I'm trying to get somebody's attention. He's not minding me. He's tired. And I decided to tickle his feet. And I was like, oh, why are you worrying me? I said, wake up. If you get a business call now, you answer answer me. And I kept tickling. And then he was like, okay, now I'm awake. What is it that you want?
Exactly.
And we laughed about it. So it's just little things that make life.
The little things.
Life is simple. We make it complicated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a little things.
Yeah, I think Reverend Kumsen made mention of introducing innovativeness and creativity in a relationship, just like we do in our corporate environment and other places. So I want to know, how exactly can we foster creativity in a romantic relationship? I'll come to you, Reverend Kumsen.
Okay.
Mrs. Kumsen.
Okay. Yeah, so you think, I started by saying marriage it's not for children. Marriage, it's hard, but with God on your side, you will be able to go through. So that you have to be on top of the game, thinking through what can I do to bring in that innovative ways.
Yeah.
Yes, so that it depends on you. Yes. So that if we have to go out and my partner has not, voiced it out, you can do that by bringing the idea that, honey, can we go out for, dinner? Can we, or even for recreation, can we do that? So you don't always have to sit till the person maybe approaches, but you can also, because you have so much in you, and you can bring it out, and so many things you can do to bring that sparks in the relationship. So you just plan. Yes, it's all about planning. What can we do at this time? And this time is not favorable, but what can we do? The next time. And then, we think through. It all boils down to communication. We as for us, we can talk. We don't get tired. Yes.
If I may add that, like Sister P said, your women usually, because they cook, sometimes they feel tired and all that. You know, as a gentleman that is in a marital relationship,
Yeah.
you can decide that, okay, this month, every Sunday, we're not going to cook in this house. We're going to go out to eat. You have prepared for it. I'm sure the woman will greatly appreciate that.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
or you know, she goes to where she comes back, or she comes back on Monday. You can decide, if not a day, maybe supper, so that she'll be, you know, relieved. You know, and you can also decide. I had a case. In fact, it happened to us. I realized I wasn't coming home early,
Okay.
and she will talk 1 or 2 times, and then maybe she didn't want to hurt me, so she didn't complain again. But I saw that she wasn't too comfortable with that. I quickly changed my schedule, all right, to try a certain period to go early and come early.
Okay.
All right. And she was so happy. You know, talking about appreciating. In fact, if she had not appreciated her, I wouldn't have continued to do that. You know, so she appreciated her. Oh, Charlie. You know, the first time she was like, hey, what happened today? You know, is it something? I said, don't worry. Things change. You know, so you just have to study the situation. How can I do maybe the same thing in different ways? You know, if you're the type that laid table or something, you can also be innovative in that area. You know, I sometimes wouldn't want to be sitting at table because the only time I get to watch television is when I'm eating. You know, so some way, somehow, she found a way. Instead of putting my food on the table, brought it in front and then put something there, and I was so happy. You know, I didn't verbalize, but she studied it. Because if I sit, they set the table, they sat down. Before you realize, I've gotten up, you know, watching. So that is it, I don't know whether it's innovative. You know, she placed something before where I sit to watch the television. And then I was so excited about that, you know. Good.
Okay, so I was having a conversation with a friend, and it was just along these lines, and I asked what a couple can do to enhance their relationship. For instance, if they are busy with work, so they don't really have time to talk, they don't have time to catch up. And he mentioned that in his experience, he usually just resort to messages and then video calls. But then he also mentioned that it comes with some disadvantages, because when it started initially, it was good. It was really helping them. Then it got to a point where they were glued to the new way of communicating. And so when they are in the house, they still don't know how to have that kind of physical connection with each other. So they resort to the phone. So sometimes they will be home and will be having conversations on the phone. So I think in a couple's quest to trying to bring new experiences to enhance their relationship, if they get to this point, what can they do? I would come to you, Dr. Mamley.
Well, as a couple, you have to agree or have some consensus on what should work. So you could say that, well, when we want to talk to each other, can we put our phones away?
Okay.
So we can look each other in the eye. So for some of us who are that intentional, they tend to think that, and maybe men tend to think that, oh, women, you know. But if you ask, how am I, and you don't look me in the eye, how do you know that I'm really, I can tell you I'm fine when I'm really not fine. So you can have an agreement that let's put our phone away and let's do it. But it depends on what the need is at a point. I just quickly want to make this point. You know, we are talking about spices. What to spice up a relationship. We need to understand that as humans, we are not only physical beings. We are emotional beings. And we are spiritual beings. And often when we are talking about spices, the spiritual aspect rarely comes in. And I want to believe that he wants me to also talk about my personal experience.
Exactly.
One of the things that really makes me feel so connected is the spiritual aspect when I see my partner pray for me and pray for you in your presence, but also pray for you when you are not there and just chance upon them praying for you. And you're like, wow, this person really cares so much about me. Early on, some people talked about going on a walk. You can spice up your walk with prayer. You do a prayer walk.
Exactly.
You know, recently my husband was changing jobs. We decided to pray together. And we went on walks and prayed together. And we found a new level of, for me, it was like a new level of connection. You know, we also do a lot of, do you remember when we met? Do you remember reminiscing? And we were students, so we talk about, do you remember we were here, this happened, and how we have journeyed along the way. And then you are at the end grateful, oh, this is how far we've come. And so this, again, is how far we can go if we commit to each other. So it's important to know that the needs are varied. Physical needs is where sex will come in.
Yeah.
Spiritual needs has nothing to do with sex. Emotional needs are different. Many times, people are meeting the physical needs. When we're going to marry, our mothers told us the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Not every man likes food.
No.
So if you go and all you do is cook and cook and cook, he says you are not trying enough. So identify the specific needs, and then you know exactly what to do and how to vary it. After all, even when you are taking a picture, don't you change your style?
Exactly.
So change your style. So in every way, you
Exactly.
change your style. It's just being deliberate about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's
change
what
your
I'm
style.
saying.
Can I add a
Yes,
little?
please, you can.
Yeah, so changing your style now comes even to our bedrooms. The bedroom. Yeah, it's not all the time always the same way. It should be the same way. The
Yeah.
bed should be at the same position, everything the same way. No, but we can change even our bedrooms
Yeah.
to add to the romantic atmosphere. Yeah. And I think it helps because one time I did that, and when he came, I was like, oh my God, look at it. I said, yeah. And I know where he works and the pressure and all of that. So I'll just be there, think through, what can I do? What new can I do for him to, feel relaxed? And then he comes and he says, oh my God, look at it. Oh, I love you for that, So little things, the bedrooms, the bed sheets, yes, let's make sure things are differently arranged so that, yes, there'll be life in the home.
Okay, so we are about to wrap up, but I'll come to you, Reverend Comson. So I want to find out what advice you would give to people out there who are trying to infuse some sort of novelty in their relationship but are unsure. What advice would you give them?
Yeah, thank you. We have said that, well, it's very important that you get your relationship spiced up, because sometimes we tend to take each other for granted. Even our vehicles need refueling.
Okay.
And if you light up a fire at home, these days we use gas, but even when the gas gets finished, you have to refuel.
Yeah.
So it's very important, right? So you don't take that for granted. We've talked about the fact that we have to be intentional, you have to be genuine, be observant, all right, about that.
Yeah.
Now, you want to spice up your relationship and you are unsure. I wonder why you not be unsure. If you have the relationship, if you prioritize your relationship, you work at it. All right. I think the issue will have to be, how do I do that? And we've shared a number of things.
Yeah.
Because we are human beings, we easily get bored at one thing. So you take a step to be innovative in one area. After some time, you need to innovate again. You don't stick to one style just because this thing worked in 2023. It will work in 2024.
Yeah.
The year has changed. Even if the year has not changed, the person you are dealing with might have changed.
Yeah.
Right. So always seek opportunities. And we are wonderful. The moment you want to get new things, ideas will come. So the issue of sending text messages and chatting on phone, after some time, you need to change again.
Yeah.
All right. So we don't stick to one thing. All right. The other person should also show appreciation.
Exactly.
It's very, very important. Yeah. Very, very important. It's two sides. A relationship, if you don't have two people, the relationship is not there.
Yeah.
So it's very important that we do that. Having said that, I will also add this one before I forget. It's important we understand ourselves first. You know, you yourself, who you are.
Yeah.
Then you'll be able to know what tickles you and how you give, how you receive and how you give out. If you don't understand yourself, you may not contribute properly to the relationship. All right. Then you can understand your partner.
Okay.
All right. Let's be positive in our relationship.
Okay.
Dwell on the good things.
Yeah, the good things.
Make a whole list of all the good things, as if there is nothing negative in the other partner, in the relationship, and you are good to go.
Okay. Thank you very much, Reverend Kumsen. I'll take your final words, Mrs. Kumsen.
Okay, thank you. So, in trying to put some spices, just as we put spices in the food, in the marriage too, we put some good spices. So we should just figure it out. We should go out there, think through, pray about it. Let the Lord lead you to exactly what, because everybody is different. And what might excite me will not excite you. So do that prayerfully so that you will have a beautiful marriage. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And to you, Dr. Mamdi.
Well, what I would say to end is that often when we talk about spicing up relationships, in the current economic situation, people immediately hear costs. And they think that, hey, it's expensive. And when women talk about let's spice it up, the men would say, hey, Obebomeka, it's cost. But it doesn't need to be expensive.
Exactly.
So we need to really debunk that notion of cost. You can lay out a mat in your courtyard and have a mini picnic and laugh.
Yes.
It doesn't need to be expensive. Of course, if you can afford it, once in a while, you may want to do something extravagant. But you should find the ways of going and doing little things that can make it beautiful. And not always think cost when we talk about spice. Some spices are local spices. They are not expensive.
Exactly.
So let's look for those ones
that.
to spice up our relationships.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Because
Dr.
give me
Mamdi.
opportunity to. I want to appreciate my wife today. She's been good to me. But particularly today, we started our day somewhere 5 a.m. This is our third program.
Okay.
Yeah, and she has agreed with me. In fact, she wanted to go home. And I said, well, let's do this and bless some people. And she accepted to bend backwards, especially for the second program before coming here. And to do that, and I'm very grateful.
Wow.
I'm grateful
Thank
that
you
she gave
for
me.
appreciating
Wow.
me.
This really goes to prove the fact that you said you do sacrifice a lot.
A lot.
I think that's something the young people can really learn from. Okay, so we are wrapping up, but I have on the table some questions. It's a chart, so can we all humbly please just pick a paper, you open it, and then you hand it over to me.
Okay. Bring it. Let me bring it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I hope.
Okay, so I would take it and
You
then
would take it,
yes, please, and then read it out. So it's either a tough question or you will ask what's in here. I'm sorry, Reverend Kumsin, but
Give me
you
a
are
good one.
acting.
I'm
Okay,
actually
so act like you are making breakfast in bed.
in bed.
Yes.
Okay, breakfast. I'm serving it in bed. Rather.
Exactly.
Okay, so. All right.
Okay.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
That's nice. Okay, I'll come
God.
to you, Mrs. Kumsin.
And what is, okay.
What do you have, please?
All right, so what was your first gift to each other? Wow. Powerful. Okay, so I remember the very first gift was like, what is it?
Hat.
A hat,
Design.
yeah, something, yeah, like a frame, very,
nice.
but in a hat form.
Special.
And then the words on it was like, I love you and it's forever.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come
Thank
to you,
you.
Dr. Mamle.
I have a very interesting question.
Okay.
Act like you are proposing love to your partner.
Oh my
Ooh.
In our social cultural context, women don't propose to men. So my husband proposed to me. But
Okay, so
even though
Dr.
we are
Mamle, I
married-
think you can change because I would want you to answer the question.
Maybe how she
So
received
I'm
the
just saying that
proposal.
I did propose to him,
Okay.
but I don't miss any opportunity now that we are married
Okay.
to tell him that I love him.
That's
Yeah.
good.
And I particularly keep telling him that you are God's gift to me. And God has used you to bless me, to honor me. You are my strength.
Amen.
You are my leader.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to follow you.
Oh.
I don't miss the chance to tell him what he means to me and to my children. You know, so of course I'm glad he proposed to me. We all did the shakara by the end.
Exactly.
Okay.
Good one.
Thank you very much to you all, my sweet guests.
And where's yours?
Thank you.
You said you
Oh,
pick one.
mine.
Yeah, please pick one.
Wow, I've been put on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope I don't pick anything that I have to
I'm
add.
praying. Yes.
What's your partner's most cherished childhood memory? My partner? Well, I'm still trying to find my partner, but when I do, I'll do well. To come back on the show and share with everyone.
Good.
Yes, and thank you very much, Dr. Mamle, Reverend and Mrs. Kumsen. It's really been great having you on the show. This brings us to the end of this segment of the Mimosa Show. The Mimosa Show is proudly sponsored by Penny Naturals, Eden Bar, Macbell, Nutri Chips, TME Collections, Pamoni Collections, Rosberg, Ear, Nose and Throat Clinic, and thank you to our cherished viewers. We are taking it back to the studio with Bella and Ajaman while we get ready for the third segment. My name is Mamioko Takwanyame.